Okay, all right. Um, Welcome everyone. So yesterday we had a little debate and roast about Ethereum. The thing is that we acknowledge the downside of Ethereum, which is like the low transaction speed and then low transaction fee and then the slow transaction speed. We also acknowledge how the user experience is pretty bad. So I invited a trader, investor, and a skeptic, which is like the ambassador for Avalanche, to speak on the stream with me, and they were pretty clear about what it is that is wrong with Ethereum and what they do not like about Ethereum. So let's start the stream today by looking at the comments people made under the post about what they have experienced with Ethereum. So I'm just going to read one by Noah Fatima. If we are going to appreciate what Fusaka unlocks, we have to admit how rough the old Ethereum experience really was. Oh, that's clear. The second comment is brutally honest but needed. Hearing a real user roast Ethereum before diving into the Fusaka upgrade actually makes the whole thing more credible. Sometimes you have to face the pain to appreciate the effects. Well, thank you. And also we had a lot other comments from yeah, Despite Junior thanking and being glad to be part of the conversation as well. Yeah. So I'm going to read another comment, which is from yeah Knight. He say high fees and failed tears are real. Excited to hear how Fusaka tackles the pain points and upgrades to UX. That's pretty clear. So yeah, a lot of people are commenting and retweeting about the downside of Ethereum and what it's actually the problem actually is. So user experience, we've heard what users have to say, investors have to say. Now today we are going to take a look at what it really means to for us for this upgrade, right? So I have with me Stanley, which is the user. He's a content creator and also yeah, has been pushing the Nigerian community for a while now. He has been contributing to Keno by yeah, being like a big OG and just doing what he had to do. He got a lot of followers and he's also a very very good person, a general person in Web3. So let's start with what it actually means to build with the new Fusaka upgrade. So let's take a look at the Fusaka documentations. Okay, all right. So this is the Fusaka doc, and this has been the announcement they made around the Fusaka upgrade, right? So why Fusaka? So we also research about that today. Now, following the Petra upgrade, they have made a major step towards scaling Ethereum. That's the main reason why we are here. So this hopes to improve the L1 performance, increase the block throughput, enhance the user experience. So all that people have talked about yesterday, all that roast and all that people actually said to my face about how bad Ethereum was is really true, and we are going to take a look at the Fusaka upgrade, and we are going to await the new upgrade coming on the 3rd December, and we are also going to test and see if it's actually worth the wait, right? So yeah, the Fusaka network upgrade is scheduled to activate on the mainnet at slot 13.16454. Okay, December 3rd, 2025. That will be 9:49:11 UTC. And also it introduces the block parameter only forks to safely scale blobs throughput after PeerDAS activation. So most of you don't know what PeerDAS is. PeerDAS is simply the peer data availability sampling, which allows you to basically um do transactions. The through yeah, it actually scales the throughput fast by just sampling, taking a sample of the block and verifying it to confirm the existence of the block. Now, there are minimal config only upgrades that adjust the block target and max and fee upgrade fraction. So you can actually see the activation table to actually understand this. Before we get into that, let's go back to the top and look at the scale blocks. So PeerDAS is actually EIP 7594, which introduces the PeerDAS data availability sampling, a new network a new networking protocol that allows nodes to verify block data availability through sampling rather than downloading the entire block. So as I said earlier, it actually means you just this, for example, when let's say you have a checkpoint and you have to stop all the cars before you actually verify or yeah, verify the car. Let's just put it that way. It will actually create traffic, right? So PeerDAS is like we don't have to stop the car anymore. We just have to, when the car is passing, we just have to take a picture of the number plates and then we verify if yeah, the car. So that's PeerDAS, data availability sampling. So it allows you to just download just rather check a sample of the blob rather than downloading the entire blob. And we all know that the blob has been introduced in recent upgrades, which allows temporal data to be stored on Ethereum. I think it's about 18 days before it expires, or about 4,096 epoch. Yeah. So the key step towards scaling blob throughput while maintaining Ethereum security and decentralization is actually the PeerDAS EIP 7594. Now, since the Tekken upgrade, layer 2 usage has grown substantially, often reaching the current 9 block per block limit. PeerDAS allows Ethereum to increase this limit without compromising on security. It does so by using eraser coding to allow nodes to sample portions of blob data using while still cryptographically guaranteeing that the full data is available across the network. So this is like a key part of Ethereum scaling roadmap, which actually allows for scalability. So now I'm going to ask my user, upon all that you've heard, are you sure this PeerDAS is actually going to do something, or it will just be like the merge? So Stanley, are you with me? Stanley, can you hear me? Hello, Stanley. Yeah, I think Stanley is having an issue with his network. Yeah. So yeah, are you sure this update is actually going to scale Ethereum? And what does that mean for you as a user and you as a developer or a startup or someone who owns a company? Now, how I've seen this is that with the throughput actually being taken care of, right? Scaling the throughput actually makes Ethereum easy to use, and we all know that L2s are going to profit from that a lot because this upgrade is something that will allow them to, execute transactions even faster. Now we have the PeerDAS, which will allow them to have about 1/8 throughput. So it will be like an 8x. And the technicalities of this actually is once your data is coming through with PeerDAS, it will not you actually don't have to make full use of the blob, right? So you only make 1/8 use of the blob and other blobs as well. So they are introducing that it's like you can actually leverage on this, right, to make sure the Ethereum runs at an 8x speed or throughput. Now people have questions about the scalability aspect of this, which is like the speed. Will it make Ethereum faster? Well, the good news is it will make the throughput faster, and through the throughput, it will actually make Ethereum faster. But how fast will it be? That's the question we are about to go into. So let's just take a look at let's just take a look at this, for instance, where we read more about the scaling. So let's take it from the MobX optimization, which is the EIP 7883 and the EIP 7823. So we work together to optimize the Mob EXP pre-compile, which is the EIP 7883 increases gas cost to more accurately reflect reflect computational complexity, including raising minimal gas costs and tripling general cost calculations. EIP 7823 sets upper boundary for MobX operations. Together, these changes ensure that resource-intensive cryptographic operations are properly priced and support potential future block gas limit increases. Now, let's go to the transaction gas limits cap, which is EIP 7825, which implements a protocol level transaction gas limits cap of 16,777,216 gas, right? Preventing individual transactions from consuming excessive block gas and protecting against DOS attacks. This lays the groundwork for parallel transactions processing in the Ethereum. So taking a look at this, we have like parallel transactions. So it's like instead of the block executing data one at a time, which is sequentially, you can actually do this parallel. So multiple transactions can happen at the same time. So what does this mean for L2s? This actually means that they will be able to support even faster transactions. So if you take, let's say, 20 seconds to actually submit the block on, let's say, base, right, it will actually take even less time for you to submit that because we have the parallel transaction processing now on EVM, which will allow, for faster executions of your, transactions and stuff. Now let's take a look at the the protocol optimization, which is the EIP 7642, which introduces ETH69, which removes pre-merge fields and the receipt bloom from the networking protocol. This cleanup reduces sync bandwidth requirements as an explicit history, serving window for nodes to advertise and simplifies the code base by removing legacy components that are no longer needed post merge. The gas limits increase. I know most people are really interested in the gas limits, right? So EIP 79, sorry for that. EIP 7935 raises Ethereum's default gas limit to 60 million, reflecting the gas limits that core developers believe Ethereum layer 1 can currently safely scale to. This increase enables more L1 execution capacity and has been thoroughly tested across different clients combinations to ensure network stability and security. Okay, I think we have Stanley back on the line. Yeah, let's just give him a second. Okay, let's take a look at the improved UX. So we have the SEPT 256R1 precompile, which is EIP 7951, which has native support for the SEPT 256R1 elliptic curve through a new precompile contract. This enables direct integration with modern secure hardware like Apple Secure Enclave, Android Key Store, and FIDO2 web auth and devices, reducing friction for mainstream blockchain adoption through familiar authentication flows. So this is one of the features they are introducing in this upgrade, right? Yeah, Stanley, I can hear you. Uh, yeah, yeah. Just give me a second. Let me put you on. Yeah, Stanley, can you hear me? Yeah, it seems your mic is muted.
I don't. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, okay, all right. Yeah, so we were just taking a look at the Fusaka upgrade, and we are talking about how the new upgrade actually scales Ethereum. So I'm just going to take give you a little summary of what we talked about, and it was about the PeerDAS, which is the EIP 7594, which introduces a new networking protocol that allows you to verify block data availability through sampling. So instead of downloading the entire block, you just have to take a sample of the block to verify its availability. And what this actually does is that it allows a throughput of about 8x of what we currently have on Ethereum. So the question is, would this actually scale Ethereum, or is it just, something exactly just like the merge?
Yeah, from my own perspective and my own vision, I think it's going to do a lot in Ethereum. But what I see now is going to skyrocket Ethereum for sure. Except they change their plan, but for what I see right now, they're really going to move bullish on it if it eventually goes well and they didn't ship the date tomorrow. No, once that spoil something they are going to launch is when they shift the date. People remove their mind. But when they did start last tomorrow, I think it's going to really move.
Okay, all right. So yeah, that was the user experience, and taking a look at the other things we have, which is the the UI and UX, right? The user experience, which actually introduces the Apple Secure Enclave Android Key Store and then the Feed O2 web ports and devices. This and I've seen tweets about this on X and other platform, which is like, yeah, Apple is finally Ethereum is finally going to support Web2 services, which will allow for a better user experience. So it'll be more like, yeah, in the upcoming, upgrades, you'll be able to do things like use your Face ID passkeys on Ethereum and actually authenticate yourself through devices that we already have, like the Apple devices we have, the Android devices we have, and even websites, and then other web applications can support these authentication flows. Now, moving on to the next EIP, which is the EIP 7935, which introduces the count leading zeros opcode. So providing a native gas efficient way to perform fundamental bit counting operations. This addition supports mathematical operation compression algorithm and post-quantum signature schemes while reducing CK proving costs. So this is a law. Does this mean Ethereum? Yeah. Can you hear me? Think you're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Perfect. So I was asking, do you hear what I said before I got dropped?
Yeah, we heard you loud and clear. Think you're having issues with your
Okay,
network.
okay. Yeah, I really have bad network today. It's because I'm not
Yeah.
in my workspace, so I'm trying to adapt to the condition.
Okay. All right. So we are talking about the UX, user experience, which actually introduces a lot more, like the Apple Secure Enclave, Android Key Store, and the web auth N, which will allow you to do authentication flows like the passkey and passkey verification and easy login on Ethereum. Do you think that's a good user experience to bring on board? Well, you can comment your Yeah, so with the US improvements, we have Apple Secure Enclave, Android Key Store, and Feed O2 web auth and devices, which like supports let's say authentication flows like passkeys, face IDs and stuff like that. So it's basically going to support Web2 authentication flows. I'm asking, do you think this is a good user experience? Mm. Okay, exactly. So here are some things we have, right? And it's pretty clear that, oh yeah, we are actually going to support a business upgrade is actually going to support a lot of things. And we've taken a look at mostly what people are talking about, the upgrade, what it means, and the EIPs involved, right? So here are some of the things you can look at, some of the resources you can look at from Ethereum Auth, which actually speaks about the block. And if you are wondering why we have this, right? Ethereum actually uses yeah, Ethereum actually uses this most of the time, and for every upgrade it introduces a new animal. I don't even know how to call it, right? Introduces a new animal, and if it has been upgraded, this is what you see in your terminal. So Fusaka, we have this. So waiting on it on December 3rd around 9:40 something, 9:49 p.m. UTC, we are going to witness another upgrade on Ethereum. Okay, let's move to the other questions we have, right, from the community. So I saw a lot of people tweeting and commenting about the upgrade, which I'm going to put on here for a second. Right. And a lot of people are talking about a prediction. A lot of people are talking about the price prediction for Ethereum. Do you think Ethereum will actually go up? Are you going to be bullish on Ethereum? Now let's see some of the comments on this. So we have the bullish points and then the bearish points. And yeah, so we have one, the dramatic reduction in layer 2 transaction costs, fostering wider adoption. Yeah, that's to be expected. And we are also going to look at the cons, the bearish points, which is complexity of implementation could lead to unforeseen delays or technical challenges. Okay, so we are yet to find out. And for the pros, we have significant increase in network throughput for decentralized applications. So yeah, we definitely have that going on, but I don't know for you, for the complexity, well, it's something to be debate or talked about later. So we have the risks of new attack vectors doing a large scale network upgrade. Yeah, actually, I think this point is pretty good. Where with the introduction of new US experience, we are going to face a lot of attack vectors, to be honest. And a lot of people are going to come up with ways to actually manipulate and then hack the network. That is one thing about user experience. Once you try to upgrade the user experience, you actually undergo a series of changes which introduces new bugs and introduces new risks in your system. Now let's just read all of the cons and then go to the pros. So requires seamless coordination across the entire Ethereum ecosystem, including layer 2s to be fully effective. Yeah, so it makes sense for this upgrade. a lot of layer twos will have to update their systems before you get access to this. It will be more like, so yeah, it will be more like we will start seeing the changes after every layer two adapts, or after your layer two adapts it. And this will also mean that it will take a while before you actually start seeing the changes for this upgrade. And per the documentation, they have like time where they will increase the blob, and then they will add do other upgrades. So we have, after December 3rd, we have 2 weeks in December, we will have another upgrade. And then I think, yeah, next year, January, around that time, you have another upgrade, which I think we should all be looking forward to. So for the last point, you have the potential for short-term market volatility surrounding major upgrade milestones. So that's also a point. That's a point to be taken into account when you are being bearish or bullish on Ethereum. So let's see how it goes. Now, for the other point for the pros, we have the enhanced decentralized through reduced node resource requirements. Yeah. So with this kind of upgrade, it's like you are going to make you are going to, the nodes require less resource from you to actually process your transactions. And because of this, let's say the throughput is fast and the space is actually fast, the data taken and all the resource requirements, let's say in terms of the computer resources like the CPU for processing and stuff like that, will actually um be reduced. So for people who are looking to, be miners, this can be a chance to actually, stake on Ethereum, and then do your setups whilst you still can. So I think this will also allow a lot of people to be like validators, a lot of people to actually run the full nodes on their computer. That can also happen. So for the last point, we have the opens the door for more complex and data intensive dApps previously constrained by skill. Yeah, so this is actually like the a point for industries where like they require big computation. They require the systems to be like to process transactions semi faster, right? So this new upgrade, will it actually have people like from industries using this? Will this actually open doors for like governments or big system to actually run and execute trades on Ethereum? Because let's say we have a bank, for instance, who is like making millions of transactions a day. Would they be able to process the same transaction on Ethereum after the upgrade? Let's hear from Stanley. So, yeah, Stanley, can you hear me? Stanley? Okay, I think Stanley is off. Now, let's take a look at other comments on this upgrade. So, the Ethereum raises block gas limit to 60 million as network capacity climbs ahead of Fusaka. So you're probably going to look at some of these, comments to be helpful for you as well. So let's just read this one out. I think this is a decent stopping point until they get thin clients and figure out a way to lower the strain on validator SSDs. There isn't a super high demand for L1 throughput as end users are supposed to be using L2 as the main application. Validator hardware is still in the range of consumer end products, but it will start getting tough if they are trying to reach 150 m gas per block. Personally, than I'd rather than Ethereum layer one reach lower block times and faster finality rather than higher throughput. That will also help with layer 2 interoperability goals and trust minimization, which require layer 1 lower block times and fast finality. Well, yeah, so some of the validators we have, say, I've been running Nidermind and with Prism, yeah, for my validator, and it's been writing about 1.1 terabyte per day. This is very close to the 0.3 DWPD limit for consumer 4 terabyte SSD, which stands at 1.2 terabits per day. If you write or if you write at a rate that's significantly above the DWPD limit of your SSD, at some point you will overwhelm the controller's ability to wear level and the chips will degrade faster than expected. I've seen it firsthand when trying to raise base layer 2 nodes with consumer hardware, killed layer consumer hardware killed four SN850X 4 terabyte drives on my side last year until I realized what actually killed them. For your information, a base layer 2 knows right at a clip of about 4 terabytes per day. That's actually good. Many people think simply controlling the storage size of full nodes per pruning is sufficient to keep Ethereum running in a consumer hardware. It is not. The daily write rate is going to be a significant factor. Pretty soon, validators will need to buy Ethereum 2 or E.3 USSD for the right endurance. So it's yeah, some issues people are facing on a consumer level where people validators and people running the Ethereum nodes are facing high SSD, right? High storage demand, so they are required to process about 4 terabytes per day, and they are required to have more storage or whilst processing that, and not to forget the issues you have when running your devices at the max. That will be like you will encounter errors. It's prone to spoil prior to the expected day. Well, there are a lot of issues when running thing which is as intensive as Ethereum is. So some other comments and some other things we have is actually the yeah, it's actually, let's look at this one. For anyone wondering exactly what that means, before this Ethereum blocks had a capacity of 45 million gas. With a regular 8 transfer using 21,000 gas, this means you now can fit about 28578 transfers into a single block, up to 2142, up from 2142. That's right. With a new block being released every 12 seconds, this translates into a maximum throughput of 283 transactions per second on layer 1. So this actually increases the transaction per second on layer 1. So those of you worrying about how fast Ethereum will be after this upgrade, here are some technicalities you should look at. And also here are some other tweets. Let's just read about this. So surprising that so many validators voted for the higher block gas limit so short before the upgrade. It is okay. It is 1 week to Fusaka. Okay, give me a second. It is 1 week to Fusaka. All validators are required to upgrade to the latest version of their clients, and one of the Fusaka features is that client sets 60 m gas limits by default. So it's a little less democratic than the above articles suggest. Okay. Now we have the EIP 7935. It's information and just a recommendation. Client teams and validators aren't required to follow the default gas limits. Historically, we know for certain that over half of all validator do not use the default value. Now, can they raise the price so I can retire and forget about fancy upgrade names? I don't care about. Oh, that's actually bearish. That guy is bearish on Ethereum. Yeah. So here are some comments, right, from the cryptocurrency community on Reddit. And yeah, it's pretty clear what people are actually thinking about Ethereum right now. Let's think. Let me put Stanley back on. Uh, sh- yeah. So Stanley is having issues with the network. Let's just look at the Ethereum surges past 3K with Fusaka Upgrade burst. So yeah, is this just a hype or people are really, really going going to be bullish on this? So okay, yeah. Yeah, Stanley, can you hear me? Yeah, I've seen you have a really, really terrible network today.
Oh, good, oh, good, oh, good, oh, good.
Yeah, we talked about
So,
lots when you were gone.
yeah,
And
I was
we
watching it. I was watching at my end also.
okay. We had a lot of comments about the upgrade and the price prediction as well. So in your own words, do you think, right, Ethereum will actually hit, let's say, 3.5K before the year ends? And why?
Okay, let me just example. Throughout the past few months, Ethereum might be pumping crazy. Even when BTC is deep, Ethereum is pumping. Do you notice that when Ethereum was pumping crazy? I don't know if you noticed that part. So according to what I'm saying,
Yeah.
this is a bonus season one. There is a there's a bonus season. There is a good possibility that Ethereum is going to hit more than 5K and it's going to go below 5K because market you cannot predict the market. Market didn't really send anybody right now. But from my own view, I think Ethereum is going to hit 5K. One, the upgrade is going to, other people is going to get in the upgrade. Other people is going to like to hold Ethereum because most people don't love Ethereum because of what they are doing. They are high gas fee and they are delaying and the rest of them. I think once everything is done in the upgrade, people will love to hip in and hold Ethereum more. And mostly, a lot of investors is waiting for this upgrade. That is for sure because I saw a lot of investors tweeting about buying Ethereum once they're done in the upgrade and the rest of them. So yeah, for sure, it's going to hit 5.3K for sure, and even more than. There's a lot of people that Ethereum to hit 10K before 2026 end. That's just their prediction. But for me, it's going to hit 5.3 or below 5 point below 5K. But I know it's going to be more than 4K, going to 5K before the year end. That's for sure in my own point. So that is it.
Okay, all right. So, well, that's a pretty good prediction. And well, it's not a financial advice to be. Yeah, it's not a financial advice. So don't it's just a prediction. And we are just looking at how best we can predict the upcoming upgrades on Ethereum and what it means for industries and users as well. Now for the big updates. So tomorrow will be like the final countdown, which is day three, and we will be doing it same time. Or yeah, we'll communicate the time, but yeah, it will be same time, and we'll be having a lot of host people, speakers from Kernel, which is one of the labs that are dealing with interoperability and cross-chain, yeah, cross-chain interoperability and the data availability layer of Ethereum. So Stanley has actually been working with them for a long time now. Yeah, he's been an OG. So Stanley, what do you think? What are your expectations for Kernel tomorrow?
Okay. I've been with Kenny for like past 6 months, going to 7 months, or I think it should be like 8 months now, because I've worked with Kenny for a long time. Kenny to me tomorrow is going to be like a shutdown for me, because it's going to be like a different perspective of what you're expecting. Well, I've seen Kenny speak in a lot of spaces, and they always go with this space because everybody would love what they're building, and everybody would love to hear it. Because I've seen Kenny, co-founder, speak in a lot of spaces that yeah, everybody will say, I'll check you guys, I'll check you out. Because Kenny is doing something different. And you as a developer, you can testify from it. You can see the evidence. It's not just about saying it. You can equally see the evidence. But so me, tomorrow I'm fully ready. I think I'll just have to get more ready also. Because it's still going to be a shutdown for me also. Speaking with the co-founder on the call and the rest of them. Because actually trying to have me on my TV also. I think tomorrow is another opportunity for me also to talk to him face to face.
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent.
So it's going to be like shutdown for me. I don't know for other people. Kenny coming tomorrow is going to be amazing, and I hope nobody miss out on opportunity to hear Kenny and ask Kenny question about Ethereum and equally about what they're building in Kenny Lab. So everyone should not miss out the call tomorrow. Stay tuned,
Yeah.
everybody. I'm bullish on Kenny, and you're actually bullish also.
Okay. So yeah, thank you very much for being on a call with me, Stanley. And we would love to have you on the call tomorrow as well, where we actually talk about the industrial use of Ethereum and what the Fusaka upgrade will mean for industries like big companies like Kennel Labs and the product they are building. We also have with us some of the projects in Ghana, which is like partnering and currently entering, they are, yeah, in test mode. We have Clyra, and then we have Raven's protocol. So Clyra is like a platform that allows you to on-ramp and off-ramp your cryptocurrency easily, and that enables users to simply hold Ethereum in their native currency and also easily transfer from their native currency. So what they actually do is that they allow you to even transfer tokens across multiple chains without worrying about how to transfer from one. So we all know the issue we are having right now is that in order to get your token to another chain, you have to do a lot of swappings and you have to do a lot of transactions. But Clyra actually simplifies this and just does all those transactions in one go. That's one thing about Kennel. And we have Events, which is like an event registration platform that allows you to host your events on Web3. And after the event ends, you'll be able to get an NFT representing your participation and also allows you to mint your memories on chain. So shout out to the team building Keno, and then yeah, shout out to the team building Revent and then Clyra. And we would love to, hear and talk about them more on tomorrow's stream. So yeah, that'll be it. Yeah. Stanley, do you have any last words?
Okay, that means two of them is going to be available on the call tomorrow. The
Yeah.
co-founder and the one you spoke about.
Unfortunately, they won't be available on the call. So they'll just partner and then help us promote this event. But they are surely going to be available for other events we are hosting as well. So yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. My last word is you should not miss out tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be an amazing day, and I hope you guys tune in and learn something new from Kenny and learn something about Ethereum upgrade also. So I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned.
Ah, okay. That's great. So we had a
And
full 1 hour with the Fusaka upgrade, and we talked a lot about the features it will have, the PeerDAS, which is like the data availability sampling, allowing for about 8x throughput on Ethereum. The user experience, which is introducing the SEPT 256R1, which is going to allow for the Apple Enclave and the Android Key Store and other features, which is like the web auth and for mobile. So we are looking at those features that will actually allow you to simply verify yourself. So the authentication flow now will be a lot more simpler than just keeping track of your, let's say, private keys. It will actually allow you to do your Face ID, maybe pass keys, and those are some of the things we are hoping to be looking at. Um, yeah, next year, 2026, January, February, all the hackathons coming up, people are going to be building real world applications. And I'm just giving you a tip about what you can also build on the new upgrade. So if you don't have access to this documentation yet, you can check the ethereum.org, which is where they post all the announcements and which is where all the resources you need to start building with the new EIPs are. So yeah, thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much for